You might not feel it, but right now, inside your body, there's a war going on. It's this constant, silent battle against trillions of microscopic invaders, and really, your entire life depends on who wins. So today, let's pull back the curtain on the story of your immune system.
And no, that is not an exaggeration. It's just the fundamental, crazy reality of being alive on this planet.
From the moment you're born, you are a walking target for billions of different bacteria, viruses, and fungi. So, to fight back against this relentless assault, your body has developed one of the most sophisticated armies in the entire universe.
So, how does it all kick off? Well, it can be something as simple as tripping and getting a tiny cut from, say, a rusty nail. And just like that, your first line of defense, your skin, has been breached. And believe me, the local bacteria, they don't waste a single second. They pour into that fresh wound, and as you can see here, they start multiplying at an absolutely terrifying rate, doubling their population every 20 minutes. In just 1 hour, there are enough of them to start causing real damage to your body. The invasion is officially on.
But hold on, your body is anything but defenseless. The very moment that barrier was broken, this ancient, powerful defense system kicked into gear. This is your innate immune system. Think of them like the guards who are always on patrol, the very first ones to face any threat.
Actually, they're already there, on the scene. You have these guard cells stationed in every single tissue of your body, just waiting to sound the alarm and engage the enemy. So let's meet our first hero, the macrophage. These are the heavily armed guards of your body's borderlands. These guys are huge, and they are basically professional eaters. A single macrophage can hunt down and devour up to 100 bacteria all by itself.
So here's how it goes down. First, it just engulfs the intruder whole. Then it traps it inside a little membrane bubble. And finally, boom, it floods that bubble with these powerful enzymes that just dissolve the bacteria into nothing. And at the same time, they release chemical signals that cause inflammation. You know that swelling and redness you get around a cut? That's them at work, calling more fluid to the battlefield.
But what happens if the bacteria are just multiplying too fast? If the macrophages start getting overwhelmed, they don't just fight to the death. They start blasting out a chemical SOS, sending out these messenger proteins that are basically screaming for heavy backup. And you want to know what answers that call? Meet the neutrophils. These are the frontline soldiers of your immune system. They drop everything, leave their patrol routes in your blood, and rush to the infection site. They are unbelievably aggressive. They fight so furiously they actually destroy healthy cells in the process and even cast out these nets to trap and kill bacteria. They're so deadly, in fact, they're literally designed to self-destruct after about 5 days, just so they don't cause too much collateral damage to you. Okay, so what happens if even these super soldiers can't get the job done? If the infection is still raging? Well, that's when the immune system has to get smart. It's time to stop with the brute force and call in the intelligence division. The brain of the operation needs to get involved. This is the dendritic cell. This cell is not a fighter, not really. It's an intelligence officer. What it does is, it moves through all the chaos of the battle, collecting intel. It literally tears the enemy bacteria apart and then wears bits and pieces of them on its surface, almost like a gruesome trophy.
And with this intel, the dendritic cell has to make a really important decision. Based on the pieces it's collected, it figures out if it needs to activate the antivirus army or the antibacterial army. In our case, the choice is obvious. So, it knows exactly what to do. It starts a journey to the nearest command center, which is a lymph node.
Okay, this is where everything changes. Inside that lymph node, there are billions of highly specialized cells just waiting for instructions. This is the adaptive immune system. It's smart, it learns, it's targeted, and believe me, it is powerful. And it's about to be let loose. This kicks off a very specific chain reaction. So first, the dendritic cell has to hunt through billions of cells to find the one specific helper T cell that's a perfect match for the enemy sample it's carrying. Once it finds it and activates it, that T cell starts duplicating itself thousands of times. Then, these new helper T cells go on their own mission to find and activate the next soldier in the chain, the matching B cell. And this B cell, think of it as the ultimate weapons factory. As soon as it's activated by a helper T cell, it starts to copy itself over and over again. These new cells then start mass-producing millions of tiny protein weapons called antibodies. And they work so hard they would literally work themselves to death if the helper T cells weren't there cheering them on and keeping them going. I mean, we are talking about a level of production that is just staggering.
Just millions and millions of these perfectly designed, custom-built weapons get pumped out into your bloodstream, completely flooding your entire body. And these antibodies, they are a total game changer. They swarm the battlefield, some of them shut down the bacteria directly, others just clump them all together, which makes them super easy targets for the macrophages to clean up. They can even mark enemies for destruction, or act as a bridge to connect killer cells directly to the bacteria.
So, with this antibody army flooding the scene, the tide of the battle turns. It turns hard. The combined forces of the innate and the adaptive immune systems become completely overwhelming. The war is entering its final phase.
And just like that, in a massive team effort, the bacterial invasion is crushed. The threat is eliminated. Now, with the war over, most of these specialized cells that were created for this one specific battle are no longer needed. So, to save energy and resources, most of them actually commit suicide. But, and this is a huge but, not all of them.
A handful of these veteran T cells and B cells, they stick around. These are your memory cells. They are the living memory of this war, and they will patrol your body for years, sometimes for the rest of your life.
And this is why this whole incredible process matters. This is the magic of your adaptive immune system. It's memory. The first time you got hit with that bacteria, the whole response took days to build up, and that's why you felt sick. But if that same bacteria ever tries to invade you again, those memory cells are ready. They launch a massive, immediate counterattack. The enemy gets wiped out so fast you probably won't even feel a thing. You won't even know you were under attack. That right there is immunity.
You know, what we've just gone through is, well, it's a really simplified version of a process that is just mind-bogglingly complex. It's a great reminder that, yeah, life is complicated, but when you take a moment to understand it, you just find these endless wonders.
And the craziest part? This whole epic war, from start to finish, plays out inside you without you ever having to think about it. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other incredible wonders are hiding inside of us, just waiting to be understood?